This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. It's a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, as the New York Knicks just defeated the Atlanta Hawks 113-89, and this time they made sure to protect their 20-point lead. They were not going to give it up again the way that they did in the previous matchup. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll start with Quentin Grimes. Very, very good game from Quentin Grimes tonight. 20 points. Filled up the stat sheet. 23 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. A very good game from Quentin Grimes, and it's, about time that he finally got comfortable, got in rhythm, and was able to come across or have a big game for the New York Knicks. And if he continues to play like this, ladies and gentlemen, then, and I know I teased it as well, but people will be saying, oh, I understand why this guy was maybe untouchable in that Donovan Mitchell trade. Will he continue to play like this? Probably not, but, he was 8 for 11. Let's put it like that. He had to be 8 for 11 to have this kind of a game because he doesn't get the amount of shot attempts that other guys get, but very, very good game from Quentin Grimes tonight. 8 for 11, as I just said, 72.7%, 5 for 7 from the three-point line, 71.4%. And he was 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And not to mention the kid could play defense. All right, so if you can get that kind of production from the guy, it's always going to be beneficial to your basketball team. And so far, ladies and gentlemen, with this shortened rotation, this 9-man rotation, the Knicks have fared well. They just beat the Atlanta Hawks, and a couple of days ago, they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. 2 teams who were coming into the game in the top 4, right? Because the Atlanta Hawks were a top 4 team tonight as they came into the basketball game. Now, clearly, that top 4 is, they're jumbled up because the Pacers are 13-11, the Nets are 14-12, the Hawks are now 13-12. All right, but the Knicks did themselves a big favor by getting this win tonight. They knocked the Hawks down, right? And they gain a game. So the Knicks coming into the game, I believe, were in the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. They just moved themselves up to the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're 12-13, half game behind the Philadelphia 76ers. And they are 1 full game behind the Toronto Raptors and the Atlanta Hawks. All right, if they can put together another win, pull themselves back up to being 500, they keep themselves in the running, ladies and gentlemen. All right, very good victory for the New York Knicks tonight. That's 2 in a row at home. 2 in a row at home for the New York Knicks, and they are now 6-7 at home. All right, they won't have another chance to win a home game for a couple of days, right? Because they play the Charlotte Hornets on the road next, and then they'll be back in town for the Sacramento Kings, who are playing very good basketball at the moment, 13-9 at the moment, but that's later on down the road. Let's continue to focus on this game right here because the Knicks pulled off what I think a lot of people would consider a big win for the team at this early stage in the season. And it confirms, me and Tony Crow and Andy, we were talking about it earlier today, how, these shorter rotations have helped the Knicks. And again, it's helping the Knicks. It's helping the Knicks. All right. And as long as the New York Knicks continue to play this kind of basketball, and not that they're going to win every single game, but they continue to play this kind of basketball, that rotation will remain short, and the guys who are in the rotation will remain in the rotation, which means Derrick Rose is out, Cam Reddish is out, and Evan Fournier is out. So let's take a look at the remainder of the box score, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to have these phone lines open. I want to hear how you're feeling about the basketball game. 516-362-5212. Okay, feel free to give me a call so I can hear how you're feeling about the Knicks win tonight. Julius Randle, ladies and gentlemen, clearly the player of the game, played a near-perfect basketball game tonight for the Knicks. You know, this is one of the best games that I've seen Julius Randle play in a Knick uniform. And it's not the fact that he scored 34 points and had 17 rebounds to go along with 5 assists. He's had those type of numbers before. But his game looked smoother tonight. All right, he didn't play. He played a relaxed basketball game tonight, I thought. You know, he played a relaxed game. He, took his time, took good shots, sprayed the ball out effectively. No turnovers for Julius Randle tonight. This might be the best game that I've seen him play as a New York Knick. Very under control tonight was Julius Randle. Very under control. And if Julius Randle can play like this, listen, when you get it going, it's very easy to play under control. It's when you're kind of struggling from the field, that you force a little bit, right? But this was, I think, the best game that I've seen Julius Randle play as a New York Knick. Again, 34 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists tonight for Julius Randle. He was 10 for 19 from the field. He was 6 for 12 from the three-point line, and he was 8 for 8 from the free throw line. It's hard to get much better than that. And he was, for whatever reason, he was super energized, and he was screaming on every single rebound. You know what I mean? Even on the foul shot, and he got the rebound all by himself, he was screaming. That's what's up. We need that kind of energy. My man Tony Crow is in the building. Tony, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling about tonight's win, man?
Shout out to the chat. Peace to your blackest time. I don't know if you mentioned 0 turnovers as well.
0 turnovers. 0 turnovers for Julius Randle tonight.
And pardon me, I was a little behind in the game, so that's why I'm late. But yeah, I was ready to come in and say exactly what you said. This is the best game I've seen Julius Randle play.
Best game. And
by far.
And it's not even about the stats. It's just the control. He played a very controlled basketball game. Wasn't rushed. Didn't get himself into trouble. You know what I mean? He took he took a heat check, a super duper heat check in that third quarter. That was a super duper heat check. He pulled that joint from super deep.
And it was close.
And it almost went in. That joint looked like it was going in. But this is the thing. He took the heat check, right? And then a couple possessions later, when he got the ball in, nobody would have blamed him if he took another 3. He didn't. He passed it back out. You know what I'm saying? It was like maybe 27 seconds left or something like that. That kind of control is what I'm talking about from Julius Randle tonight. You know what I mean?
And if he can play like that, then we can withstand a bad shooting game from a Brunson. You know what I mean? We could withstand some of the other things that didn't turn out as well as we would have liked.
Yeah. So this is I'm hoping that people can the coaching staff can say, hey, Julius, this is the way we need you to play. This is the kind of control we need you to play with, and he can continue to play like this. He's gonna have his gaffes. There's no doubt about it. But if he can continue to play like this, it helps the Knicks out a lot. It preserves his energy. You know what I'm saying? And without the turnovers and things like that, it is going to help his game and the Knicks game overall. Something I am noticing is the last few games, and I know it seems easy for me to bring it out tonight when he had 34 points, but there's been a little bit more finesse to his game, a little bit more of a softer touch. Let me say that. He's gotten very good at going to the basket, bumping with his shoulder, right? So he's, going to the right, bumping with his left shoulder, and then pulling it back and shooting it. And it's looking smooth when he does it. He's gotten good at that. There was a nice shot, I think Clint Capella fouled on, where he drove hard right and then kind of floated it, fading out of bounds with the left. He's getting a little bit more, a softer touch on his shot with a little bit more finesse. You know what I mean? And that's definitely good to see.
Yeah, that shot was on the right side of the court, correct?
On the right side of the court, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
In the third quarter. You know what I mean? So that was a nice play. So it's definitely something that I'm noticing about his basketball game. Also, that at the end of last year, he started to learn how to use that rip through to get fouls. You know what I mean? And he's done it well this year. Sometimes I feel like he does it a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And really trying to get that foul. But he's done a good job doing it, and he has played good basketball games the past few games.
Two things about that rip through. What I also noticed this year, as opposed to last year, it's not him automatically pulling up for a shot. Now he's listening for that whistle, before he throws the shot up, and then if he doesn't get the shot, I don't like when he jumps and passes the ball, but he's been a little bit more accurate with it.
I hate that jump pass, man. That jump pass be killing me. Like,
But now it seems like he knows his options when he does it now, as opposed to you know what I mean. Just jumping up and then trying to find an option. So I think he's. I don't like it either, Sim. But he's becoming more effective.
I get it. I just still am a firm believer, if you stay on your feet, you keep your options.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because once you jump in the air, if you can't shoot it and you can't pass it and you come down, it's a travel. If you stay on your feet, you know what I'm saying? Now, you're still on your feet. If you can't find a pass or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can pivot till you can find a pass. You might get fouled. Maybe you could throw a pump fake, whatever.
Call timeout.
It's something. You know what I'm saying? But once you jump in the air, that's it. You got to do something, and then that can cause bad passes, this and that. Derrick Rose does the jump pass too. I can't. Yep. I hate that jump pass.
Let me ask you this: the question I posed yesterday. Do you think the defense is settling in? Because now we're talking about back-to-back games where, 81 points. I think they were under 90 tonight. Do you think the defense is settling in, or do you think it's still a uphill process?
I think with the shorter rotation, it's helping it to settle in, and then like we were talking about earlier, and Kev was all hype about it. With Deuce out there and Quentin Grimes, you are getting better ball pressure. There's no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? And if you can feel comfortable enough that you're going to have, guys like Randle and Brunson on most nights is going to be able to score the ball, Grimes, RJ, those guys to be able to score, you can say, all right, well, we don't need Rose out there on the floor because Deuce can bring the defense. And Deuce tonight had, what do you have? 6 assists for Deuce tonight.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Withstood a 17-0 run.
Mm-hmm.
We did tonight.
The Knicks withstood a 17-0 run. You know what I'm saying? And that's great to see. You know what I'm saying? Because a 17-0 run is tough.
That will lose you 9 out of 10 games.
That'll lose you some games. You know what I'm saying? Withstood a 17-0 run and ended up winning by, 24 points. You know what I'm saying? So, that's good. That's good toughness for the Knicks. They've won 3 of their last 5 games. All right, 2 of them over playoff caliber basketball teams. Julius Randle, though, in the last 5 games, Against Detroit, 36 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Shot 58% from the field and 46% from three. Against Milwaukee, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Didn't shoot that well in that game. But, the Knicks as a whole played really good defense in that game against Milwaukee. Against Dallas, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 53% from the field and 37% from three. Against Cleveland, 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. He didn't shoot well from the field, though. Then tonight, he had 34 points, 17 rebounds, and 5 assists. But he's been, finding ways to put up numbers.
I'm sorry, Sam. You got to say 0 turnovers.
0 turnovers. You got to add that in. No doubt about it. You got to add it in because, let me see. Over those 4 games that I just mentioned, Detroit, 3 turnovers. Milwaukee, 1 turnover. Dallas, 3 turnovers. Cleveland, 1 turnover. So in his last 2 games, he's had 1 turnover. And so, it's a good basketball game from Julius Randle. Look, on the season, man, Randle's averaging on the season 21 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He's shooting 46% from the field and 32.5% from three. He'll probably go up, a percentage point or something like that from three. His point total probably go up to 21.5 or something like that. These are good season numbers for, these are good numbers from Julius Randle. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3.5 assists with good efficiency from the field. That's everything you're asking for Julius Randle right now, man. There's some people that don't like it when he has if he's having a good game or he has a good stretch, but you got to give it up when it's due. Got to give it up.
Sam, what were your thoughts on Trae Young trolling with the sneakers?
Man, I seen that. And I'm glad. Listen, I seen it. First of all, that's a thing for a sneaker company to sell sneakers, right? Because it wasn't written on. They were asking about it. It was embroidered. Then it was in orange and blue. The colors. They were Knicks colors. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he was trolling the Knicks and all of that. That's a ploy to sell sneakers, but he got shut down. He didn't get shut down, but the Hawks got shut down tonight.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Keep up with that bulletin board material.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Keep doing it. You know what I mean? Keep doing it. So, it would have been listen, the news would have been bigger if the Hawks would have won tonight. Right? If the Hawks won tonight, then of course it would have been like, oh, and Trae Young had sneakers on and say da 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 da. You know what I mean? But there's not much you can do about it now because they didn't get the win. You know what I mean? Trae Young tonight had 19 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 45% from the field and 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. So the Knicks did their job on Trae Young tonight. You know what I mean? They did their job on Trae Young. What did you think about Quentin Grimes tonight? 23 points for Quentin Grimes. Filled up the stat sheet. 23 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Let me see, where am I at? 2 assists and 2 blocks for Quentin Grimes.
I'm gonna keep saying it, man. He is making me a believer. I was one of the guys doubting him, and I gotta give him his props, man. He's showing me a lot, and he doesn't do too much. He just does his job. His shot was finally falling. His shot always looks good, so I was never discouraged in the makes and misses because I know eventually that'll come just because his form is good. You know what I mean? His shot selection is good.
Yeah.
But now he's showing everything else. Like you said, filling the stat sheet, crashing boards, making plays, getting assists, and then guarding, the best perimeter guy on the other team, usually a 1 or a 2. So yeah, love him.
Yeah, man. Love the way he played tonight. And, I love the fact that, when he was, at 18 points and, RJ and whoever was talking was like, yo, let's see if we can get him to 25. They almost did it, almost reached the goal. He had 23 points tonight. You know what I'm saying? So the team, when you play like this, listen, I know I just cut my own self off, but when you think about the last few games that the Knicks played, the only bad one is versus Dallas, right? So you go all the way back to the game versus OKC. They won in OKC, right? They beat OKC. Then they come home. They play a tight one and lose to Portland down the stretch. Then they lose to Memphis down the stretch. Then they blow out Dallas. They blow out Detroit. And then they lose to Milwaukee, a close game down the stretch. And then they crumble in the second half. They take a lead, a 7-point lead at the half versus Dallas, crumble in the second half, and then they beat Cleveland in a good game. Right?
And Sim, you could take it back a little bit further, because the OKC was the end of the 5-game West Coast trip.
Yep.
Where we was 3-2.
Well, we were 3-2.
Yeah. I believe one of the 2 losses was a close game as well. So
right.
I mean, we've been on a pretty good stretch. Regardless of the outcome of the game, we've been playing a lot better.
Right. We've been playing better. Yeah. I mean, you can, obviously Golden State, Phoenix, we took some tough losses to those 2 teams. But we beat Utah, we beat Denver on that West Coast trip, we beat OKC on the West Coast trip. 2 tough losses to Portland and Memphis, beat Detroit, tough loss to Milwaukee. We know what happened at home versus Dallas. Now we just beat Cleveland and Atlanta. Right, so those are if you go all the way back to the beginning of that West Coast trip, the Knicks up until tonight's game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins with tonight's game, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. So they're 6-6. If you go to the beginning of that West Coast trip, but playing good basketball for majority of those basketball, even though as Knicks fans, we look back and we pull out the games where they really don't play well, and that's what we get truly upset about. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't play well. But when you start to look at it overall, they've played some good basketball. They haven't always come away with the win, but they've played some good basketball in some of these basketball games. You know what I mean? We hope that they don't have those collapses. And that's what really bothers most Knicks fans, when you see those collapses. Like they collapsed against Dallas, right? Because it looks bad and it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? But each time they've had that kind of a collapse, they've responded. You know what I mean? They've responded well. Let me get to a couple of super chats here. Okay, and that's the name of the person who sent the super chat. Okay, said we need a legit superstar to lead Randle and Brunson. Then we'll contend. I wouldn't argue with you. That if you can add a legit star with Randle and Brunson, and hopefully you still got RJ and them guys. I don't know if you're trading for a star. Somebody's gonna go. There's no doubt about that. You know what I mean? I don't know if they'll contend then, because there'll still be some work to do, but they'll be closer. And okay, thank you again. He said, Quick isn't the guy to trade. I feel the core to chase a title. If we add a star is Randle, Brunson, Quick, and Mitch. It's hard to say. You know what I mean? It's hard to say. But I don't know. What do you think about that, Tony? What he just said? Then we'll get on to some other things.
As far as the core,
the core and adding, a star to that core will help them to contend. Because it sounds like he's saying trade RJ, use RJ in a trade with draft picks or whatever to try to get a star. That's what it sounds like he's saying.
I mean, stars, we need one. We need one. But at the same time, we got to be patient. Like we have the opportunity to do it still. You know what I mean? I know what happened with Donovan. That's that's in the past. That's off the table. Let's see who becomes available. My thing is, regardless of who we get, we got the most important thing is the right fit, the right star. You know what I mean? Somebody who's going to come in and fit in seamlessly. I'd much rather find the right guy than get the guy in here and then still have to maneuver everything around to kind of work around this guy. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's going to be just as long as a process as kind of building with what we got right now and waiting for the right piece.
Right. And it's hard to know who's going to come available, when they're going to come available. But, what you got to do is, they've got to continue to get better with this, with the team that they have here, continue to get better. So when you do make a move for a guy, he's coming into something. He's not coming into a mess, right? He's coming into something that's stable, you know what I mean, and something that is growing. And it would be nice to add a guy. See, this is what I don't want to do, and this is why I was so high on Donovan Mitchell, and I don't want to, spend so much time there, but I like the fact that he was 25, 26 years old. I don't want to do like the Clippers did. Right, the Clippers had something budding with some young players and some vets mixed in, and then they got old. The Los Angeles Lakers did the same thing when they had Lonzo Ball, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, and then they got ancient. They didn't just get old; they got ancient. And you see where they are right now. I want to add a guy that's young, that is budding.
Brooklyn Nets.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I want to. I'd like to add bringing a guy, a star that's young, 25, 26, 27, you know what I mean? So that,
makes the window 10 years instead of three, 4.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, I would love to be able to do it that way. Looking at some of these numbers, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks, we talked about rebounding today as one of the keys. 55 rebounds to the Hawks, 39. Mitchell Robinson tonight was killing it on the offensive glass, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Mitchell Robinson, 10 rebounds altogether, 9 offensive rebounds. You know what I mean? And he is proving Tom Thibodeau correct when he says he believes that Mitchell Robinson is the best offensive rebounder in the game. He's proving him right. You know what I mean? And his rebounds really did help lead the Knicks to blowing up that lead. You know what I mean? Because there were
we scored off of almost every single one of them. We scored a second chance points off of almost every single one of them. I only recall one that we didn't score off of.
Yeah, and those things are big. They're huge. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. The Knicks 20 second chance points tonight. The Hawks 12. All right, so the Knicks dominated on the glass, 55-39 over the Hawks. The Knicks 26 assists, the Hawks 16. 6 steals for the Knicks, 4 for the Hawks. 2 blocks for the Knicks, 6 for the Hawks. Only 14 turnovers tonight for the Knicks. A little bit more than I want, but they've been a team averaging about 14. 11 for the Hawks. The Knicks shot the ball well tonight, 44.6% from the field, but 47% from 3. That's a big key right there. 91% from the free throw line. The Hawks 37% from the field, 16.7% from 3, 79% from the free throw line. Neither team really burnt it up on the fast break. 7 points for the Knicks, 5 for the Hawks. And then 46 points in the paint for the Hawks and 36 for the New York Knicks. The Knicks attempted 36 threes tonight. They were 17 for 36. That's a good number, I think. 36 attempts. I think it's a good number. Will the Knicks always make 47%? Probably not. But if they can get that thing up to 37%, you know what I mean? I think that'd be perfect for them. Julius Randle was 6 for 12. Quentin Grimes was 5 for 7. Right, good numbers. How much, Tony, do you attribute this win to, I mean, obviously, it's part of it, but this win to DeJounte Murray being out most of the game. He went out with 3 minutes? He played 3 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
I
actually missed the first 8 minutes of the game. I had fell asleep. But yeah, I mean, obviously it helped us, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Hey, you play, nothing the Knicks could do about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You play who's in front of you. You know what I mean? Tonight, Jalen Brunson, was a little bit off tonight. 2 for 14 from the field, 8 points, 6 assists. RJ Barrett, 4 for 13 from the field, 2 for 6 from the 3-point line, 15 points, 7 rebounds. Tonight, because the Knicks won and, they blew them out and, Randle had a good night, Quentin Grimes had a good night, will mask any performance, any bad performance from players, right? But are you concerned? It's getting long with RJ. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're at game number, what is this, 25, and he still isn't. He'll have a game or two here or there, you know what I'm saying, where he shoots well, but are you concerned, man? Because it's been a struggle for him to really, really get going and find a comfortable rhythm.
I am concerned. I mean, I am concerned because, like you said, it's taking longer than normal. Let's say, even though last year he didn't turn it around till January. You know what I mean? Like you could really pinpoint the turn of the year to him making his improvements, and even in that, I think it might even be February to where he really hit his full stride.
Well, that's when he really started, shooting at a really, really high clip that helped to balance out what he did earlier in the season. You know what I'm saying? But it's tough when I look at his numbers. If I go back, if we go back to the West Coast trip again, you know what I mean, just to keep things fair and honest. Against Utah, shot 28%. Against Denver, 22%. Golden State, 31%. Phoenix, 27%. Then he had a good one at OKC. He shot 62% from the field. And he shot 75% from 3. Then he comes back versus Portland, 27%. Then versus Memphis, he shot 53%. 36% against Detroit. 53% against Milwaukee. 44% against Dallas, 38% from the field against Cleveland, and then now tonight again, he shot the ball 30%. You know what I mean? It's a win can mask it, but it's
exactly a win can mask it. What I need to do now moving forward is pay attention to what else he's doing to affect the game and affect the outcome of the game, because I can make an argument that he needs to be held a little bit more accountable and be sat at times, and other guys should maybe not be pulled from the lineup. So what I mean, it's very interesting. I don't want to be the controversy one or the guy that pits teammates against each other, but I agree. It's concerning, and it's more concerning wondering how long it'll last without some type of change,
right.
Whether it's Tibbs making a change or RJ himself making the change in his approach.
Right. Because the pressure is mounting, from the fans, and I'm sure within the organization, and listen, this year, I'm sure they'll be like, all right, we're going to let it rock. But next year, we start paying you a lot more money. You're making $11 million this year. Next year, you make a lot more money, more than double that. So, now what? You know what I mean? I mean, he does do other things, though. Against OKC, 8 rebounds. Against Portland, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Against Memphis, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. 8 rebounds against Cleveland, 6 rebounds against Dallas. Tonight he had 7 rebounds tonight. So he definitely does other things out there on the floor. I think most people can forgive his shooting if his defense was better. But he's also struggling on the defensive side. You know what I mean? So hopefully RJ will be able to pull it together soon. I'm trying to look and see for 2000, exactly when last season he started to, really pull it together. As soon as I get to it,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was January, because that was with the stat line. When people would talk about it, it would be like, since January 1st, he's been doing this. And then
right.
if you shortened it and said from February, he was doing even better. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think February and March might have been like peak months.
Mm-hmm.
But January is where it kind of started, I believe.
Yeah. So he, the end of November, he was at like 54%, 67% from the field, 38%, 55%. Right. So he kind of started to shoot better, and then he went out for COVID, I believe. Right. And he was out for a while in the month of December, and then he came back the end of December. He shot 26%, 30%, 41%, and then jumped up 50%, 43%, 60%, and then, when you got into the new year, it started to get a little bit better. Right, and his numbers really did jump up. He had a couple of bad ones, but his numbers jumped up. We'll see if that's exactly what happens this season. But sooner or later, though, it's going to be like, we needed to jump out there right from the beginning. You know what I mean? And RJ shooting 40.6% from the field this year and 28.2% from three. Last year, he ended up shooting 41.7% from the field and 34.8% from three. And he had to shoot amazingly towards the end of the season to get that 3-point field goal percentage up. You know what I'm saying? Amazingly, in order to get it up. So we'll see if he, we'll see what happens there. Rand Rock said, do you think this is going to set Cam back? I'll tell you this. I think if, Cam not playing, if Cam continues to not play, I don't think Clutch is going to keep him in New York. That's what I think. I think they will try to find out a way to get him out of it, to move him on to someplace where he can get more playing time. You know what I mean?
If Obi misses significant time, you think he's next man up?
Probably. Unless it's Jericho, unless they use Jericho Sims at that 4 spot, but I don't think he'll use Jericho at the 4 spot. So it would probably be Cam. Now, I didn't see a lot of the game because I had my own game tonight, so I didn't catch it until like halftime. What happened to Obi?
Knee sprain, I believe they said.
Okay.
I believe they said. Speaking of your game, I forgot who I highlighted it, but I forgot who said it. But they asked, did you win tonight? So
we didn't win tonight. We didn't win tonight. We played like a really, really, really good team. So here in Maryland, there's a league. It's the WCAC, and in that league, you have Bishop McNamara. They're normally ranked like top 5 in the nation in girls basketball. St. John's, they're normally ranked. It's crazy because this league has like 3 or 4 teams that's ranked in the nation, normally in the top 10 in the nation in girls basketball. So we played a team that plays in that league. Right. And, I put it like this. We played well against them. You know what I'm saying? We didn't, it's not, we didn't just get smacked around. We played pretty well. They jumped out. I mean, the intensity at which they played was crazy. They came out, and just, they got the tip. And on offense, it was just pop, 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 pop. They was all over the place. And I was surprised that my girls were able to rotate with them, right? And they jumped out to a 14-0 lead. And then we cut it down to like 6. But we could never get back on top of the game. You know what I mean? So, we ended up taking a 20-point loss to them. You know what I mean? Even though we cut it down to 6. And then, they got like 13 players. We got 7. You know what I'm saying? So, now we took the L, but, it was a good learning experience for the girls. They got better tonight. Let's put it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they had to play at a level of intensity that they've never had to play at before, you know what I mean? And they competed against them, so we have like 3 more of those schools on the schedule. One of them is Bishop McNamara, but we're playing their JV. We're not playing the top 5 ranked team. We're playing their JV, you know what I mean? But we got a couple of those schools on the schedule to help us, raise our level of play. So
that's what's up.
But tomorrow or Friday we have a league play. We play in our conference. So our first 3 games, we played all teams out of our conference that we're kind of looking up to them, saying we want to play in you guys' conference. You know what I'm saying? So and we did it that way on purpose. We figured we were gonna have a hard time in these games, but we wanted to try to make them have to step up so that when we play in our league, it's a little bit easier. You know what I mean? So
sure.
We'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? Donald Cannon said I'm about to be replaced. Nah, man. I'm not gonna be replaced. I'm not gonna be replaced. At least not yet. You know what I mean? We got a team of soccer players and volleyball players. Right? So our starting point guard tonight was her 16th game ever. 16th game ever. She's a good basketball player. She's going to be really good. 16th game ever, right? She's a freshman. Our starting shooting guard, right? She's played more games than that, but she's a freshman, right? But she's a young starting. She's a young freshman. Our center, she's only her 16th game because her sister is the starting point guard. She's only played 16 games, right? We have an 8th grader on the team who's playing varsity. She's not a starter, but she plays starter minutes. You know what I mean? And then we have one senior who's played. She didn't play with us last year for personal reasons, but she's playing now this year. You know what I mean? And, she's decent. She's pretty good. So we have a very, very young team.
I was gonna say,
so we're growing.
You safe because all you do is play the kids.
And that's all we can do is play the kids. You know what I'm saying? Because we got, they're all freshmen or 8th grader. And the 8th grader, let me tell you, like, she be cooking out there. She's small and thin, but she's gonna be tall. She got her dad is tall and her mom is tall. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna be all right. She's gonna be pretty good. Hey, Joni, take it for 1 second while I quiet them down.
I got you. I don't want to highlight your super chats without you, so I'm gonna hold those back. But let me see if I can get a comment up here, and we can talk about that real quick. Let's see who we got here. Kevin Middleton. Tibbs is looking for a reason to bench Cam. Oh man, I can't. All right, Sim's about to be back. We're gonna talk about this and see what Sim thinks. I don't think it's that he doesn't like him. I think Tibbs is just stuck in. He thinks the 9-man rotation, and I believe him, brings more consistency to the team. I referenced that earlier in the season when he cut the rotation. What do you think of that comment, Sim? Tibbs is looking for a reason to bench Cam.
Tibbs was looking for a reason to bench Cam. I mean, I kind of agree a little bit because I just kind of feel like coming into the season, Tibbs had his idea of who was going to be in the rotation. And I don't know that Cam was in it. You know what I mean? I think he had certain people penciled in already. And obviously things turned out the way that they did, with Quentin Grimes getting hurt. So Cam had to step in. But I feel like when Cam got hurt, when Cam's groin was, hurt a little bit, that was Tibbs' chance to say, okay, now I'm gonna get back to doing what I wanted to do and what I envisioned. You know what I mean? So I do kind of feel that way, that he was waiting for it. You know what I mean?
No doubt. You do have a couple of super chats whenever you get to those, and then I know at some point we'll talk about the rumors going around.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, again, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. He said, if this team replaces RJ for Levine, are we seeded 5+ in the East? I mean, that's Levine is obviously a better offensive player than RJ. There's a chance. I would say there's a chance. I would say there's definitely a chance if that were to happen. You know what I mean? If that were to happen, you would have to, obviously there's going to be some adjustments that have to be made. You know what I'm saying? So, and then OK said, my last super chat and the most important one, fans that want Obi to get more minutes than Randle will be highly disappointed. There's levels to this game. I agree with that for the most part. I don't think Obi is ready to be a starting power forward in the NBA, right? I mean, he could be. He could be a starter.
Not this team, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a starter. You know what I mean? I don't know if that team, depending on who's on the team, they could be, if you got a bunch of, if you got a lot of players, you got some stars on the team, they could be a pretty good team. And Obi might give you 12 points and 7 or 8 rebounds. You know what I mean? I just don't feel like Obi has that kind of impact that Randle has right now. You know what I mean? I don't think he draws defenses, this, that, and the third, and that's what the Knicks need for this basketball team. They need what Randle brings more for this particular team than what Obi brings, in my opinion. But what Obi brings off the bench, I think, is perfect. The energy, the highlights, you know what I mean? And his three-point shooting has been good, so I think that's where it is with Obi right now. And that's okay. You got to have bench players. You got to have guys that come in and change the way that you play. And Obi does that for this team. You know what I'm saying? And, so that's a good thing. So, yeah, definitely excuse me for my dogs. Ever since I got this window win, it's been trying to figure out, how do I, before it was never like this. They were always out someplace else and they couldn't see out the window. Now I got this new window when they're barking at every second. Anytime something happens, they think they got to let me know that somebody's walking past or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll edit it out later, but still I apologize about that. You're muted, Tony.
I was going to say, now you got to get a blackout shade.
I got one. The thing is, they can see out it. People can't see in it. You know what I'm saying? So they can look out and see what's going on. But you wanted to talk about the rumors that's out there. So what? Which ones you want to jump into?
Steph Bondy, I believe, is saying the Knicks and his agent are working on a trade.
Talk about Cam.
Yep. Talking about Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can start there.
Yeah, I mean, I have no reason to not believe it. I'm pretty sure. They said, listen, right now you're going to be situational, and if Quentin Grimes remains healthy, you'll remain situational. You know what I'm saying? Or if somebody else, or if everyone remains healthy, you're going to be situational. And even though with Obi going down, if he's down for a little while, Cam might get in there, he's going to go back to being situational. Cam believes that he can be a star. You know what I mean? He has the talent. I don't know, he's got to work on some of his decision making sometimes, and sometimes he makes some mistakes, but he has the talent. I think he wants to he needs to be in a position where he's going to play consistently in order for him to have a chance to reach his potential. And I will say, LA is probably the best place for Cam, because you got LeBron there, the whole clutch organization, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? That would probably be the best place for Cam, for his career right now, I think.
So here's my thing. If you're in the front office, do you even consider trading him just to trade him? And I say that meaning, because I gave up a first, I'm looking for a first back. I don't think the Lakers do that. You know what I mean? They've been reluctant to move their 2 remaining available.
Yeah, I would be too. I'd be too.
First round pick.
Listen, after giving up Brandon Ingram, right? And the Pelicans, I think the Pelicans have this year's pick too, right? Yeah, I'd be real reluctant to move those picks.
So that being said, from the Knicks perspective, it doesn't change. It's putting ourselves in the same position as last year, trading for Cam, because whomever we get back is going to be not in the rotation. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's even a player.
Right.
So that's why I agree. As far as fit for Cam, the Lakers probably are the best place currently. You know what I mean, where he could find a role, definitive role, young guy where they could keep him moving forward and kind of have some more youth in their development system or whatever the case. So I agree. But the talks out there are Nunn and or Beverly. And I know you're a big fan of Beverly. I'm not opposed. So let's say it's whatever the move is. Let's say it's for Beverly, right? Let's say it's like Fournier and Cam, Beverly and Nunn. Because me and Andy were talking about this earlier. Where does that put us moving forward? Does Beverly jump Deuce, and then Deuce becomes situational, and then you know what I mean? None is situational. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we still have Derrick Rose, so I think more moves will have to be made
exactly
after that. But is that move a good enough move to where you're like, all right, we're not using Cam. Let's bring in a guy like Beverly and switch the whole rotation around. You know what I mean? Like make the adjustments.
I don't know if I would want to do that. I like Beverly.
Right. I mean, that seems like too much maneuvering.
Too much. I like Beverly, and Deuce could end up being a young Beverly. He could end up being Beverly one day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, what Beverly has over Deuce is, that the veteran leadership thing. That's what he has over Deuce. But Deuce could end up being that guy, could literally end up being Patrick Beverly one day. You know what I'm saying? And you have him now, and you have him, a young...
For years to come.
Yeah, a young guy who's humble. You know what I'm saying? He's got a lot to work on with his offensive game. Obviously, the defense is there. But with where he's at right now, that basically they probably telling him, just play defense. That's all we need. Play defense. Knock down a shot here or there when you get the chance. So if if that's what you're gonna do, you might as well go ahead and rock with Deuce instead of bringing in Patrick Beverly. Kendrick Nunn, I don't even know what the need is for Kendrick Nunn.
I mean, that's 2 more point guards we're bringing in.
Exactly.
that,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? That aren't going to be utilized.
Right.
And then my next part to that is I prefer personally, and I don't know if this is a good thing, like I guess for morale or like, you know what I mean, like reputation wise, but just hold on to him. Keep him in that situation. You know what I mean? You have his rights moving forward. whether you want to let him go into restricted free agency, and now use that as your bargaining tool, knowing that you can match, knowing that you could possibly work out a sign and trade to the team that obviously has the interest in him because they're willing to sign him for whatever that contract
I guess
is.
my only question would be, does it cause, does having a disgruntled guy, because I think he would be kind of disgruntled, how does it impact the team? I don't think that Cam, I think he would be professional. I don't think he's going to complain and all that kind of stuff. How does it impact the team? You know what I'm saying? And then also, I think that, because I get what you're saying. I do. I get exactly what you're saying. But also, I feel like Leon Rose is the type of guy that
being an agent, he's
he's going to try to take care of the players too, as much as possible. So it's like, listen, if we'll try to get you in a good spot. We're going to try to make sure we're going to think about the team first. But if we can get you in a good spot, we will. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's that kind of a guy, because that builds a reputation around the league too. It's a players' league, so it builds a reputation. Like, hey, the Knicks, they're not going to do you dirty. You know what I mean?
I feel what you're saying. But to me, that's what makes the decision so tough.
Yeah.
And granted, I am obviously a Cam fan, one of the guys that really like Cam, but putting that aside and just trying to look at it from the front office perspective, you, like you said, you got to do what's good for the team first.
Mm-hmm.
So making a trade like the one that I just referenced that I was hearing, to me, how does that help the team? I get how it helps Cam. I get how it helps the Lakers. You know what I mean? But how does that help the Knicks? You know what I mean? So that's my only gripe. I'm not opposed to making any trade if it helps the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because that's the point of the trade. So that's where my dilemma is, where I'm like, it's no rush. It's no rush. Even if you're gonna take care of the player, right? You want to make it mutual. So you want to take care of yourself, the organization, and the player. So we gotta wait until we find that right situation that benefits. We should say all three parties. So, you know what I mean? The other team, us, and so that's my only dilemma with moving him is you can't just give him up and then you basically now admitting your mistake as far as like, because you gave up the first to get him. Forget the Kevin Knox part of it, but you gave up a first round pick as well. So
no doubt. Let me get to a caller. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Sim, how you doing? This is George from the Bronx.
George, what's going on, man? How you feeling tonight?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Listen, I'm listening to you guys discussing Cam, but the bottom line, I feel personally, the bottom line, this is a business. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We traded for Cam. Cam is talented, but Cam is not consistent. And we're not in a position to wait on a player to get it together. We need you now. We need production now. Okay, you're not able to provide that, so we're going to send you somewhere else where you can get yourself together, and we're going to get the best thing back that we can get for you. Because this is a business, man. You know what I'm saying? Cam been in the league, what, 4 years?
4 years. This is his fourth season.
He's a 4-year player. Fourth-year player. So it's time for you to do what you're going to do, because the minutes you require is premium minutes. So we need, when you're out there, for you to be consistent, man. You can't have a 26-point game and then the next 3 games you score 3 points, 5 points, no points. We can't have that. We cannot have that. We're the New York Knicks. We're struggling, man. We're trying to get in the mix. Cam has talent, but Cam is not consistent, man. So if we can get something better for him, by all means, let's do it.
Right. I guess go ahead, Tony. Go ahead. I know you about to ask. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I agree with you, but my question is, how are we getting better moving him? If he's, again, the situation we were in last year, we traded a guy who was out of the rotation for a guy who wanted to be in the rotation. So if we're moving him now when he's currently out of the rotation, what are we getting back that's making us better? And are they even going to be utilized? Because if we're just making a move because we're saying, he's not in the rotation and he wants to be moved. Now we lost the first round pick in acquiring him. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, don't move him just to move him, because he's under contract.
Well, no.
And go ahead.
We need more rebounding. The problem I have with Obi is he don't rebound. He don't rebound like you said. He should be averaging at least 5 or 6 rebounds a game. So we need rebounding. If we can get us a rebounder, somebody who can rebound the ball consistently and play some decent D, that would be an upgrade.
You mean a wing player?
Don't you think?
A wing player. You're saying because
where are they playing in replacement of who?
Of Cam.
But Cam ain't playing. Like right now, Cam is out the rotation. I think that's what Tony's saying. Cam is out the rotation. So in my opinion, right, if you're making a move, unless you're making a move for draft picks and you're gonna have picks, to add to your asset bank. But if you're bringing in a player, it's got to be one of two things, in my opinion: someone who is significantly better than the players that you have on your bench already, or someone who is very young that you believe has a future in the league and could possibly be in your rotation, at some point in time. You know what I mean? But like Tony was saying, Pat Beverly or Kendrick Nunn, we wouldn't have no use for those guys. So it just has to be a smart move.
Right.
You know what I mean? A smart move. Because if you make the move, at least get someone that's going to be in a rotation. Now, it is a 9-man rotation, and Tibbs has said that he would play 10. You know what I mean? So if you brought it, maybe you do bring in someone and then he expands it to a 10-man rotation. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's one of the reasons he's like, all right, I'll go 9, but you guys got to get me somebody to fill this 10th spot. You know what I'm saying? That
somebody
could be,
who will be consistent.
Right. That could be, because you got Quick and Deuce, and you can find a wing. You can fit a wing in there someplace. You know what I'm saying? So if you can get you a wing that can play some defense, knock down threes, grab some rebounds, those type of things, then maybe he'll play a 10-man rotation. Right.
Right. And if Cam was more consistent, he would be forced to play a 10-man rotation because everybody else is producing regularly. The only one who's not is Cam. Cam is good on D. He fills the passing lanes and stuff like that. He's a slasher, but some of his shot choices are questionable, to say the least. And then like he can't even average 8 points a game. You see, we need more consistency from him with the ball, shooting the ball. He's not doing that. That's the only gripe I have with him. He's not consistent shooting the ball. He have fantastic nights, and then he have nights you'd be like, oh man.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, and, that's why I think his best landing place is with LeBron in LA. I think that's his best landing place for his career. And that's why I think they're going to try to get him. They're going to try to get him. Clutch is going to try to get him to LA.
Do you think he'll be able to deal with the scrutiny of playing with LeBron? And when he don't have good nights, LeBron can be, hard on players because LeBron want to win.
I think that's probably what they feel he needs. I think they feel he needs that person that's going to be there to push him and to make him have to, live up to what LeBron's expectations are of him.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah. But hey, man.
If
yeah. No, go ahead.
Phoenix is trying to get. Wait a minute. Jay Crowder plays for Phoenix, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jay Crowder would be a good fit for us, I believe.
Yeah,
if
I
we
brought
can
that
get
up
Jay
a few
Crowder
weeks ago.
out
Yeah.
out of Phoenix, I think he would be a good fit for us.
Yeah, Tony did bring that up a few weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? And if you're looking at Fournier and Cam and then being out the rotation, and if you could make a move and he fits that wing spot,
Yeah,
it could
put a
be.
little package together.
It
That's
could be.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll see.
That's something to look at.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I appreciate your format. I appreciate what you guys do, man. I watch you every day, and just keep doing what you're doing, and you will hear from me again. All right.
All right. Appreciate it, George. Have a good one.
All right, man. Take care of yourself. Take care, Tony.
Take care.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, Greedy Grizz said, it sounds like the player that we are describing is Cam. I mean, Cam fits the profile. But for some reason, Tom Thibodeau isn't fully sold on Cam. That's what it is.
I'm starting to feel that too. I'm just trying to separate. I'm trying to separate it because I don't want to be one of the people that's down on Tibbs because I'm not. You know what I mean? But gotta live with his decisions.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If it's, for whatever the reason is, he's not sold on Cam.
Let me ask you this, Sim. Do you think Cam has earned a spot in the rotation? And to take it a little bit deeper, I'm gonna say a spot in the 9-man rotation.
I think I feel like he deserves a spot in the rotation, right? The reason why he's not right now, Deuce is in that rotation over Cam. And I'm feeling like Thibodeau wants to see Deuce's on-ball defense. And that's why he's there right now instead of Cam. I think that Tibbs likes when you look at Grimes and you look at Deuce, when they play defense, it has the look of being pressure. Just they move their feet quick, right? Their hands are always boom, 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 boom. So it has the look of being pressure when Cam plays, because I still think Cam plays good on-ball defense. It doesn't have that same look, right? But his arms are long enough to get in the passing lanes. His arms are still long enough to bother the defender. I still feel like he does a good job slipping around screens. You know what I'm saying?
It's about the look of effort.
The look of effort.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Because it looks effortless and it looks like he's not exerting himself.
Yeah.
So I agree with that 100%. And that's been a knock for years.
You know what I'm saying? And
offensively as well.
Yeah. And, I think that's what Tibbs doesn't feel like it gives, his look of not giving effort. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's the case. I don't think he's not giving effort. It just looks like that. When you see him run, like he prances up the floor. You know what I'm saying? That's how it looks. And I don't know if that's, and maybe Tom Thibodeau just isn't feeling that. And maybe he feels like because Deuce and Grimes have that effort look, they're doing more defensively. I don't know. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, Ken. He said Cam's talent with Kobe Bryant's dog. That guy is a 10-time All-Star. I agree. I agree with that 100%. If he had that kind of mentality, you know what I mean? He would be something to deal with. He said, I just think Cam has no dog, and everybody who evaluates talent at the highest level probably sees that. It could be. And maybe they're trying. That's one of the things that I talk about it a lot, and I'm sure you guys have heard it a lot, with coaches talk in the NBA and college. If you have a player that's really, really hyped, you can bring that player down. But a player that isn't hyped, it's hard to bring that player up. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to bring that player up because that's kind of just their demeanor. And Cam, that may be something that's, that may be Cam. You know what I mean? That may be who Cam is. But it's an interesting conversation. the Knicks have shown, or Leon Rose has shown throughout his time with the Knicks, that they get stuff done early, right? I mean, have they done much at the deadline since they've been here, Leon Rose? Right? Things have normally gotten done early, around January or something like that. So if something is going to happen, I think they're going to get it done. They might, there's a chance that they get it done earlier than later. You know what I'm saying? Sooner than later. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
What's going on, bro? It's on, man. You know it's been a minute.
What's going on with you, man?
It's been a minute.
How you feeling?
Man, I can't believe, bro. We ain't talking a minute, man. You know me, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember me, man.
I remember
I'm in Texas. I'm from Jamaica, Queens.
I remember you,
but
man.
I'm in Texas now. You remember, bro?
You're in Texas. You're in Texas. I remember because I remember telling you. Do you drive truck?
That's crazy. I own a trucking company.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I remember us talking about being careful on the road and stuff like that. I remember you.
Appreciate that, bro. But man, I remember I ain't missed a game over 30-something years.
Yeah.
30-something years, bro. And when you was just talking about how they set Cam, they bring McBride in, and you got my boy Grimes in there too. I love it how you just broke that down a minute ago. I love the analogy. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
That was perfect. How you said, how you think they looking at it. That was perfect. And I've been thinking that the whole time, because when how everybody talk about how they want to bring, what's the name in, Duke boy, RJ, play with RJ, and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think him and RJ is close as people think they are. But, that don't have nothing to do with it, though. But at the same time, bro, I still haven't missed a game over 32 years. Not one Knicks game over 32 years. Ain't no telling how many. I can't even tell you how many women. He said, man, look, the Knicks and the Giants, but when it comes to the Knicks and Giants, man, you don't know how many women I lost in my life, bro. I'm just, we older, so you know. I can't even get to that, but this ain't about that. But this ain't about that. But yeah, but and I still haven't missed a Knicks game.
That's a lot of games.
Years.
There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games.
That's what's up. Even my nephews be joking. Oh, how you even we because my nephews fans just under me. You still haven't missed. No, I'm still not. You know why? It's damn near like I'm a recruiter because I want to watch what we got. What we building,
yeah.
I want to see, that's how deep it is. When people talk about Spike Lee, number one, no, I don't think Spike Lee number one. Because I dedicated my damn near my whole life.
Right.
If you understand, I don't even know if anybody in this world understand what I'm going.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Even my kids, you got the Knicks game on again? You got to come on. Why we? No, we're going to watch the Knicks. I'm daddy, we go in the other room. You go to the other room. I'm watching my game. And be quiet while you're in the other room because I want to hear everything going on.
I hear you.
And be quiet.
No doubt.
Quiet,
But,
no
doubt about it.
You know what? And I'm so happy he put McBride in. I'm so happy. I don't know if it's something that he's trying to save his job, but I've been knowing this boy played defense.
Mm-hmm.
You got him at Grunt. Them boys play defense. You got to keep them in there. You see what happened last season. You seen,
when
they in there.
Yeah, and
you got them boys playing defense, and you know what? And so, oh Lord, man, RJ is it's God. Oh Lord, and I ain't gonna lie, I was just like, what's the name, man? When they wanted to put RJ in that trade, I was pissed. But you know what? Lord, this year, Lord Jesus, it's like RJ got this money. And it's almost like you can look at him like a Randle. How people were trading Randle, you can look at it like that with him. Because he's not, he's complaining too much. And now he's like, I don't know if he got that money or what. Did his effort just drop because he got that money? Because when he didn't have that contract, he wasn't, the effort was in there. And the way he talked, And just like you see, we benched him today. If you watch, I don't know if you watch. Well, yeah, you said you caught the second half, right? So you see when we benched him today, you saw when they put the camera on him, right? I don't know if you've seen it. I hit them little attitude eyes.
Oh.
What's this?
I didn't see it. I'm going to have to go back and check it out. I didn't see it. I'm going to go back and check it out, though.
Please, you got to see that, Sim. You got to see that, man. We ain't talking a minute, but, we talk.
You talking about RJ?
But I'm trying to. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man. I don't like RJ. I don't like his body language. I don't like the body language.
I saw it on the bench.
Okay, all right. I might have to go back and check that out. But I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you calling in. I know I got some other people that's trying to get on the call. Hopefully.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
That's 2,000.
It's good to hear from you again, man.
Yeah. But, hey, that's 2,624 games, man.
Yeah, that's
32
facts,
years. That's 2,624 games. That's a lot of games.
Look, I ain't even do the math. I'm still doing everything. Excuse my language. Ain't no telling how many women I lost on the way. Like, you got to stay home watching Knicks. No, we can't go out tonight, baby.
Yeah, you got to find you a Knicks girl, man.
The Knicks game come on tonight. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man, look, Knicks and Giants, man.
That's it.
Knicks, man.
I appreciate your time, man.
Send me that email. I need that email, man. I got to talk to you in the load. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll put it in the chat.
Cool.
Appreciate you.
All right, you got my brother. All right, bro.
2,624 games, ladies and gentlemen. Said he didn't miss a game in 32 years.
We gotta timestamp this, Sim. So when we do our awards, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's a lot of games right there. 2,624 basketball games, and that doesn't include this season, I guess.
Nor does it include probably another 8
playoffs and all of that. You know what I mean? Playoffs and all of that. So, yeah. But with Deuce, he was talking about Deuce. Deuce is Tom Thibodeau's, like Tom Thibodeau wanted Deuce McBride. Quentin Grimes too. He wanted both of those guys. I'm assuming because they played defense. You know what I'm saying? Now with Deuce, I never thought Deuce was going to be the starting point guard of this team. I just didn't see that in him. With his style of play. Never thought he was going to be the starting point guard. And I was perfectly fine with him continuing, just honing his skills in the G League and whatever. Tom Thibodeau's deciding right now to see if he has what it takes to do it in the league. And, if he plays defense the way he can play defense, he'll have some sort of success until he hones his offensive skills a little bit more. You know what I mean? But that's his guy. And so he's going to show allegiance to a guy like Deuce. He's going to show allegiance to a guy like Quentin Grimes because those are his guys. Same thing with Emmanuel Quickley. Right? He wanted Emmanuel Quickley. So he's going to show some allegiance to those guys. I don't blame him. You know what I mean? I don't blame him. You wanted those guys. They're here now. You gotta rock with them and see what they can do. For the last few games, they've been doing exactly what Tom Thibodeau thought they could do. Now, what do you think about the Charlotte game coming up on Friday?
Another winnable one, man. We gotta continue to win the games we're supposed to win, and then squeeze out and take care of some of these teams that are above 500.
Right.
You know what I mean? But our MO this year has been beating the teams we're supposed to beat for the most part.
Right.
Which is, something we could hang our hat on, and let's continue that pattern. You know what I mean? Because that right there will get us halfway through the battle of what we need to do. You know what I mean? Win the ones you're supposed to. Mm-hmm. We dealt with some close ones in the midst of the tougher teams. So let's win the ones we're supposed to, and squeeze out a couple of ones that maybe we shouldn't. That'll be confidence boosters. But right now, I think we're on a good stretch, 2-game winning streak. The defense looks like it's settling in. They're missing some players as well, so we can't take them lightly. We can't be looking past them, and let's handle our business.
Right. You know what I mean? That's the important thing right there. Don't look past them. Handle our business. You know what I mean? And play with that sense of desperation. You know what I'm saying? You play with that sense of desperation, a lot of times it manufactures wins. But right now, let's take a listen to Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen, and his thoughts, on the game, Grimes, Deuce. All right. This is Tom Thibodeau in his post-game presser, ladies and gentlemen. Let's knock it out.
Coach, when you look at... you held tonight, your defense held them under 38% shooting, 17% from free. Can you talk about how the defense set the tone?
Yeah, I think it's important. We know how explosive they can be. The start of the game, obviously it changed a little bit when Murray went out, but we know Young puts enormous pressure on you at all times. And Bogdanovich, you're concerned about him, Griffin, Capella going to the rim. So this team, they're very, they put a lot of points up, and they're going to test you when the ball's up on the board. You got to get in a fight, and you got to rebound with them. So I thought we started off well, and we sustained it. We withstood a run they made, but we closed it out well.
Coach, it's back-to-back games. You help teams under 90 points. What are you seeing as the team is executing more consistently?
I mentioned this earlier. Like the big metric for me defensively is defensive field goal percentage, because that you're measuring what you're doing on every shot. Same thing with the three-point field goal percentage. So are we challenging shots correctly? And then are we keeping the ball out of the paint? That's a reflection to me of your shell. And those are things we've been strong in all year. I think we've gotten in trouble some with, when we've turned the ball over, we've been low turnover, but the two previous games we had high turnover. You put teams in the open floor, they're going to make you pay for that. But I think the thing we want to count on is our defense and our rebounding and low turnovers every night. I think if we do those three things, that puts you in position to win, regardless of how you shoot the ball. Some nights you're going to shoot it better than others. We made 17 threes tonight, so that's a big plus. And I thought a lot of those came off of guys helping to create rhythm for each other. So doing something for someone else, now it's a different shot. So when we play like that, it's going to be good. And it was strong on both sides of the ball. And Julius just had a monster game. So I think that set the tone for us.
Does he know on that? Like they're missing, obviously, their front court starters playing two young guys. Does the guy Julius know, okay, I'm just going to dominate this game tonight?
Yeah, Capella's a lot to deal with. They went big, too. With Okongwu and Capella together at times. And so if you're in the league, you're a great player, and that's the way you have to approach it. Everyone's capable of beating you, and you have to play with an edge. I thought he came out and he read the game well. He made a lot of good plays for us. He shot the ball well. I thought he got into a very good rhythm. He made quick decisions and rebounded the ball. He did everything for it. He made a number of really good plays. And when one guy starts doing it, it becomes contagious and leads to other guys doing it. So, we talked about before the game, everyone shares in the responsibility of helping to create rhythm for the team.
You mentioned going out and challenging shooting three-point shots. Quentin Grimes says he's healthy now. He doesn't feel anything was there after playing. How much of a difference does that make?
Well, I think you can see the combination of the way he plays defense, and he's starting to get his rhythm on offense, and he shoots the three. He reads closeouts well. And I thought Deuce gave us really good minutes defensively as well. And so I think that's important for us. And every night there's going to be guys on the perimeter that are very difficult to guard. So the better we can guard the ball, the better that makes us.
For a guy like Grimes, who doesn't have a ton of experience in the league, every night you're giving him the toughest assignment. Just kind of how have you seen him handle that? And
Yeah, no, he's been great. I think you guys, if you can recall from last year, he showed us in his matchups last year how good he was defensively. And so I think he'll only get better and better as he gains more knowledge, and becomes more familiar with each guy, and he's just, he studies, and he's got a knack for it. He's got a tenacity about him. He's a big multiple effort guy, great intensity all the time. The way he plays is the way he practices, so there's no adjustment for him. Some guys practice half speed, and then it's a tough adjustment. He doesn't. He practices full speed. He's all out all the time.
Talking about Grimes.
Doing a lot of film work to know these guys when he has.
No, a combination. I mean, he lives in the gym. He's the ultimate gym rat. He's there early, comes late, studies, fierce competitor, and the same could be said for Deuce. And I think those guys give your team a lot of energy and toughness.
ESPN had a stat tonight about Deuce. Just get your thoughts on it. He's the first player in Knicks history with at least 30 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 three-pointers, 0 turnovers in Knicks history in one game. Thoughts on that round?
It's a monster game. I love the way he played. He played with a great spirit, great intensity. He was strong, offensively in all ways. So it wasn't just the shooting; it was running the floor. It was playmaking. It was, the rebounding was special. And when he plays like that, it's, we're going to be tough to beat.
The bigger stat after the last game was saying that, you felt that they just missed some open threes tonight. Did you see?
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's probably true in every game. There's some shots you challenge really well, and you make them miss. And there's other shots you challenge well, and they can make a shot. And then there's other shots that aren't challenged well that they do miss. And I think that same could be said for us. And was it good defense, or do we miss it? And for us and for all teams, I think is it the right shot? Is it a rhythm shot? Is it a drive, pass, rhythm shot, and did you shoot it well? If you shoot it great, you're missing half of them.
You put Tinker with the rotation a couple times this season. These last two games, do you feel like you found something here, or is it?
We'll see. I don't think you ever have it all figured out. I think each day is different. So hopefully we're building the right habits, and we can build and keep getting better. That's the whole goal. Is to improve every day. And so we're getting more information of what, who works well together, how the team functions. And the most important thing is how the team functions. So that has to be first and foremost for everyone.
If Obi's knee keeps him out a few games, what's early thoughts about your rotation?
We'll figure it out. There's, I like the idea of RJ being there some. I think he showed us last year how effective he could be at the 4. So that could be a possibility.
Tom, you mentioned stuff about Quentin's physicality.
So what you need to know.
A lot of young guys are physical when they come into the league, and that leads to over-fouling or maybe overzealousness in some kind of way. What is it that you try to impart on young guys who are physical?
Well, I think technique, fundamentals, I think fundamentals are huge on offense and defense. And I think how hard you play, you have to earn the respect of your teammates, your peers that you're competing against, and also, probably more importantly, in terms of how you're being officiated, the referees. I think the referees, once they know you're a hard-playing guy like that, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. And he doesn't foul. He's very aggressive. He has great body position, has great discipline. He knows how to challenge shots, and he flies around the whole time. He's everywhere.
Do you see it affecting? Quentin has been really aggressive attacking closeouts too, not just shooting. Do you see that affecting the way that defenses have to guard him?
Yeah, I think the thing is, he shot 38 as a rookie, so we already know where that's going. We watch him shoot every day, and I think he knows when teams are flying at him, he's gotten real comfortable attacking the rim. I think that people don't realize how good of a playmaker he is. And he played point guard in high school, so he's comfortable with the ball. We just have, he didn't get a lot of those opportunities last year, but he'll get more as we go forward.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tom Thibodeau. And the thing that stuck out to me, ladies and gentlemen, is when asked about the rotation, if Obi Toppin has to spend some time out, and you know what they were getting at, right? They were getting at, will Cam Reddish be out there?
Cam.
You know what I mean? He said, I kind of like the way RJ looks at the 4 spot. I mean, I think, Tony, that probably tells you all you need to know right there that,
and I looked at him talking about Grimes' practice at full speed as a direct shot at Cam as well.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. So I think I think Cam's out. I don't think we're seeing Cam again. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're seeing Cam again.
Just glad I didn't buy that jersey.
Right. Yeah, because you was about to, right? And when Cam hears that, pretty much he's probably like, that's a done, that's it. You know what I mean?
I mean, the only other way to take it is, all right, I got to work harder in practice. I got to practice like it's the game.
Right.
And kind of show something. But year 4,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This is discouraging, man. Cam is my guy. Yo. This keeps happening to me.
Yeah. So that's something. Take a couple minutes here from Julius Randle, Deuce McBride. Then we'll wrap this thing up, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is Julius Randle in his post-game interview.
This team held Atlanta to 17% from 3 tonight. I mean, that's exceptional defense. What was so effective about the game plan?
Just effort, I think. We knew that we had a lot to deal with Trey and DeJounte, even though he got hurt. But just being there to help on them and then getting out to shooters.
I mean, for you, 34 and 17, but I think what really stands out, the 16 defensive rebounds. Was that a focus for you tonight?
Yeah, I don't really like how I've been rebounding this year, so trying to make a conscious effort a little bit to try to turn it up a little bit. So
it's fun to watch when you're on like that, but can you describe to us what it's like when you're in that zone where every shot you take, you make, and then on the other end of the floor, you're pulling down rebounds left and right?
Well, I was just having fun out there. Not really thinking, not really, worried about misses or makes or making mistakes, just having fun.
Quentin Grimes was exceptional tonight. He talked about how he finally feels like he's got his legs underneath him after going through the injury. If he plays that well and that efficiently, what's that going to do for this team?
It's huge. It's huge because he competes really well on the defensive end along with Deuce. So it adds a whole new dimension to us for sure.
Deuce, this Atlanta team has only scored under 100 points twice in the last 40-plus games, 89 points tonight. What was the key in your mind of the defense?
I think it was just our energy and our effort. Coach set up a great game plan, and we came out and executed that. So I think, I added a little bit with the communication and just trying to, talk to everybody, make sure we're making rotations, make sure everybody knows the matchups, and just go out there and execute the game plan.
Yeah, and speaking of those rotations, how do you use your length when you're picking up different guys of all sizes out there?
Yeah, I mean, I know I have great length. My arms are pretty long, so I understand that guys are a little quicker. I got to give a little bit more space, and guys that are a little bit slower with the ball, I can get into a little bit more. So just understanding and using that to my advantage.
6 assists for you tonight. What are you focusing on as you're learning how to run this offense?
Really just trying to get everybody involved. The basketball always has magic in it. That's what, coaches growing up used to say. So getting everybody to touch it, getting everybody to feel, that's how I get into a good rhythm, seeing others play well. That's how I'm going to play well.
Yeah, and speaking of playing well, Julius Randle was outstanding tonight. What's it like for a guard when you have a player who is finding a zone like that?
Well, it was great. We could tell, Julius came out with a different effort, double-double. He was all over the glass tonight, and, he was taking the easy shot. So, the results will show.
And for you, last one, 42 defensive rebounds tonight. How much pride are you guys taking in the defensive effort? That is a season high, 42.
I mean, it's about getting them to take, harder shots so that we're in the right places to go rebound, make sure we're all blocking out, and then getting up the floor and making plays for each other.
Thanks, Deuce.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Miles McBride. You heard from Julius Randle, heard from Miles McBride. I guess that would explain the reason why Julius Randle was screaming on every rebound, even free throw rebounds. You know what I mean? Getting himself into, kind of back into the mode of, hey, I got to rebound the basketball. You know what I mean? Because apparently he's not liking the way he's rebounding the basketball right now. He is averaging what? I think right now he's averaging 8.5 or something like that. He probably wants to try to get his average up to 10. So somewhere around there. Yeah, listen, I like what Deuce said about, when asked about running the offense. You know what I mean? And just getting the ball around to everybody. The ball has magic in it. I think I'm going to use that. But, the ball has magic in it. Let everybody get a touch of it, and that's where his focus is. Not trying to score the basketball, but just getting people involved. 6 assists tonight for Deuce McBride. You know what I mean? And playing that defense. So, good stuff tonight from the Knicks, man. Good stuff tonight from the Knicks. Any last words? We didn't talk too much about Charlotte, but obviously we're gonna do a game preview on Friday. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, man. I like what I heard from Deuce too. Early in the interview, I was over here. I had it muted, but I'm like, yo, talk your talk, Deuce. When he's like, he mentioned something of his own contributions defensively, which most players don't necessarily do that. But it's nice to hear a player, pat himself on the back for a good job. And yeah, man, congratulations to him, man. He's making the most of his opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's big. That's big right there. Making the most of your opportunities, because that's all you can do is make the most of your opportunities, and he's doing that. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head up out of here. The Knicks play Charlotte on Friday. I'll probably only catch that game at halftime or something like that.
Me too.
We play, actually, I don't know. My game starts at 5:30. I may be able to catch the entire game. I may be a little bit later doing the post-game show, because, we got the girls play a game and then the boys play a game afterwards. This is our first conference game. So, we'll see how that goes. But, I'll definitely see the game, and I'll be doing a post-game show. We'll see what time that I'm doing the post-game show. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I appreciate your time. A good win by the Knicks, fun show, and I would like to get on tomorrow. I'll see if I can get on tomorrow a little bit. I haven't been able to do the shoot around the day after show, the shoot around in a while, because there's just been so much going on, and I got these trainings I'm doing during the day. But they finish up. Tomorrow's like the last one that I got to do. Well, Saturday. So I'll be able to get back on doing those shoot-around shows where, Andy can join in and some other people that can only join during the day could join in. So hopefully I can get back on track with that.
And if you can't, man, just give us the 5 keys.
Five keys, man. I didn't do that last time either. I'm definitely going to do those tomorrow. I got a nice 3-hour time span for me to knock that out.
Those been holding us down, Sam.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Great game tonight, folks. Great game. I appreciate your time. And
can I highlight one last thing?
Yep, go ahead.
Because I mentioned it in the pregame, the defensive rebounds. Now, granted, Mitch had 9 offensive, 1 defensive, but I've also mentioned this in the past that I've tend to notice that we're still a good defensive rebounding team,
Mm-hmm.
even with Mitch's deficiencies in that area. And what he does a lot is he boxes out on them defensive rebounds and allows another teammate to get those. Because I've been paying attention for about 3 weeks now, just trying to figure it out.
Okay.
So I just want to highlight that.
Yeah, okay, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Be peaceful. One.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Nick.